Hello there, everyone, and welcome to my quick deck profile for the black for the black Greymon deck. This is going to be with cards from all over the place, like BT5, the structure deck, and BT4. It's not really complete right now. It's kind of like V2 of the deck at the moment. I'll explain that more in detail, and I'll definitely be making a more up to date deck profile in the future when the deck is actually complete. But the main reason why I'm doing this is because a friend, check in the description and the pinned comment below, recently made a video on a quick versus match with another friend of mine, and the deck's been updated a bit, so yeah, this is the most up to date version at this time, and I'll explain what I'm going to be changing once I get to that point. So, that being said, let's get started. For my Digitama, alright, so for my Digitama, I run 3 Koporimon from the BT2. I run 3 of these because of the effect, and it's that it's reboot is that if the Digimon has reboot, it gains 1000 DP. The deck does have a lot of reboot cards in there, and it's kind of reliant on the reboot, so I run 3 of them. I don't run 4 because I like to have some kind of variety with how I like to run my decks. Like, for instance, for my other 2 Digitama, I run 2 BT. I run the structure deck Koporimon, 2 of them. Its effect is that if the Digimon has blocker, it gains 1000 DP, so kind of like the Koporimon from the BT2, except it's blocker instead of reboot. As I said, I like to have some kind of variety, and blocker, it doesn't come into play as often as the reboot, but it still comes into play enough to where I can justify running 2. And let's see. Okay. And as for my rookie level Digimon, I run 3 Hagurumon. Three of them because it has a play cost of 2, so if let's say I get this card, my opponent only gives me like 1 DP, or I don't or it's my first turn and I have this guy in my hand, I can just slap it down to get a quick rookie out so that I don't give my opponent that much DP, and so that I also have more options for play later on as well. So, yeah, that's why I run 3 of those guys. 4 of the structure deck Agumon black. 4 of them because, blocker. Blocker also, because of it being a Greymon focused deck, it helps to have that kind of like tribal connection as well. And there's also a specific tamer where, yeah, sure, because it only works off the Agumon, and it won't come into play as often again, but it's still a nice card to have, and still very nice. Okay. Four of the Toy Agumon from BT2. It gives reboot. Deck is focused on reboot, so why would I not run it? So pretty self-explanatory there. And I'm not sure if this is going to be a filler or permanent thing yet, but 2 Chumon. Again, not 100% sure if I want this to be like a permanent addition to the deck or if I'm going to be changing it later on, but yeah, its effect though was nice that it gives that my opponent doesn't gain any memory except with tamer effects, so not bad, but honestly, I just again might change that as later on. Okay. And then for my champions. Now, this one is definitely going to be going through the most changes as time goes on. And possibly, but basically, for my champions, I run 4 Greymon from the structure deck. I'll go into why I decide to run the 4 Greymon. Like, it's, you know, for example, it's inherited effect right there. If your opponent didn't attack with a Digimon this turn, trigger draw 1. I find that effect to be way too traditional for me to justify running it, but honestly, it's a Greymon, so that's why I run it. And again, I will get into why I'm running it later on. Let's see. I unfortunately can only run one of these Greymon right here from the BT2. However, as time goes on, I would like to replace these guys right here with Greymon. Now, why am I saying these guys right here? Well, the Black Galgamon basically has the same effect as this Greymon, but it's a Greymon focused deck. I need to specifically have this Greymon right here. So, yeah. Black Tyrannomon, it's a good card, don't get me wrong, and I really, really like this. It's amazing. Unfortunately, however, in this specific deck, I can't justify running it. In a future deck, I will be running this, of course, but yeah, so in the future, I hope to replace these 3 with this Greymon right here. So why this Greymon? Well, if my Digimon has reboot, it gains jamming. Jamming makes it so that there's no security check, so I can basically just keep having my Greymon, my ultimate and mega level Greymon, just keep tapping the security pile, and no security checks ensue. So yeah, I like that. And lastly, I run 3 Mechanorimon. Mechanorimon is a Mechanorimon. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought was just crap. Its play cost is 4, and its Digivolution cost is 3. And I was like, who would run this? But there is a really good reason to run Mechanorimon. First off, it's a blocker with 6,000 DP. It can't attack, so that's unfortunate. So its only use is blocking. But if it deletes a Digimon, an opponent's Digimon, and survives, it unsuspends. And this effect happens more than once per turn. So, let's say you're facing a Rookie Rush deck, for example. Well, well, that Rookie Rush deck, well, its entire strategy is dead on arrival if you have Mechanorimon out. So you see, you're facing an obvious um Rookie Rush deck. Mechanorimon shuts down that entire strategy. So yeah, really good card. And if you don't want to run Mechanorimon, then run the Dark Tyrannomon, but Mechanorimon, definitely at least recommend running it in a black deck of some kind in the future. Okay. And as for my champions, or not champions, ultimates, I run 2 Weremonzimon. 2 because now I'm only really running 2. One, because I only have the 2, and second, well, honestly, more Monzimon. It's not a bad card to hard play. It only has a play cost of 5, and a Digivolution cost of 2. Also, it's an ultimate level, so let's say like you just want to quickly get a mega level out, then just slap it down for 5. Gives Doesn't really give your opponent much options, and you have an ultimate level out, so you can just immediately play um a mega next turn if you have one. I might replace the Warmonzimon. The Weremonzimon, whatever. I might replace it, but I'm probably not going to in this deck. Secondly, we have the 4 BT2 Metal Greymon. It naturally has reboot, so reboot focused deck, you know. But while this Digimon has reboot, it gains security attack +1. Amazing. Like, that's all I need to say. So if you combo it with the Greymon, with the champion level Greymon, and the rookie level Toy Agumon, then, your Mega will have reboot, it has jamming, and it has security attack +1. Amazing combo. And kind of what I see a lot of black decks run, but honestly, why wouldn't you? It's an amazing combo. And lastly, I have 3 of the Wargraymon from the structure deck. Well, Metal Greymon from the structure deck. When digivolving, you give one of your other Digimon blocker, but I mainly have this because it's a Metal Greymon, or a Greymon, I should say. Now, here's where it becomes tricky and very clear that I don't have that many cards as of this time. So I run one of the promo Black Greymon, Black Wargraymon, I should say. I'm hoping to run more of these in the future, and my megas are definitely going to be changing a lot in the future. So just because they're like this now doesn't mean they're going to be like this in the future. Okay. Then I run one of the BT5 Black Wargreymon. This is another one that I'm probably going to try to run more of in the future. It naturally has blocker and security attack +1. So, yeah, amazing. Then I run 3 of the Blitz Greymon from the structure deck. It definitely doesn't have a bad effect, but personally for me, the play cost, the Digivolution cost is too high for my liking, so ideally I'm hoping to replace the Blitz Greymon with the War Greymon with reboot and blocker in the future. Well, also, or if I can't get my hands on that specific Greymon, then I want to get these 2 Greymon right here. And then lastly, Boncho Golemon, 2 of them. I'm planning on replacing these though with, 2 level 7s. Which level 7s? Well, this specific deck has actually 1 level 7. Unlike, the video that you're going to see where I have Chaosmon, it's the Omnimon's Warped Defeat. Amazing card. Actually amazing. It has basically if it's in the security, play it without play it without battling or paying its memory cost. If it's digivolved, you delete one of your opponent's tamers, and if it gets deleted, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Just amazing card. Now, As for my tamers, this is where it's going to definitely be getting a little messy, and I will be sure to explain. So, two Nokias. Nokia makes it so that if I just play it, I can play an Agumon. Unfortunately, from what a friend of mine told me, it doesn't work on the toy Agumon, so that's unfortunate, that's a shame, but honestly, it's still worth running in the deck because if I'm digivolving a Greymon, a card with Greymon in its name, then I just suspend it and I lower the play cost by, or the Digivolution cost by 1 for like a Greymon or an Omnimon. Still worth running. So yeah, that's why I run it. And then I run 3 Marcus Daemons. Greymon focused deck, worth running. It gives if it's the start of my turn and if my memory is 3 or less, it immediately becomes 3. And then if I attack with a Greymon or a card with Greymon in its name, I suspend it, gain 1 memory. And now this is going to be replaced in the future with another Marcus Daemon, but 1 Dikemi. Honestly, Dikemi is definitely a good card, and I'm definitely going to run 4 of them in a future deck, but as of right now, definitely not a bad card. When one of my cards digivolves, you just suspend it and you draw an extra card. Also, it has a really nice inherited effect that also just shuts down Rookie Rush decks, which makes it so that all level 3 Digimon gain when attacking, lose 1 memory. So, yeah. So, and finally, for the option cards, I run 1 Dark Side Attack and 2 Ultimate Flares. Now, this is where I'm not sure if I want to run 3 Dark Side Attacks or 3 Ultimate Flares, but I'm kind of conflicted on it, and I'm thinking I might stick with 3 Dark Side Attacks, but we're gonna have to see. But either way, I'd recommend running both of them if you can. Dark Side Attack makes it so that you delete 1 of your opponent's Digimon with 3 or less than with 7 or less play cost, so pretty good, and it costs 5 memory to play. Ultimate Flare makes it so that you reduce basically makes it so that you reduce the Digivolution cost by 3. And if your opponent has Digimon with a play cost of 3 or less, it deletes all of them. So definitely a really good card, and basically kind of acts like a it kind of acts like a Terraforce in a way from the games that I've seen my friend use it in. So yeah, it's kind of like a black version of Terraforce, which is, another amazing card. But yeah, that is the Black Wargraymon, or the Wargraymon Black deck. In the future, when I update this deck and when it's complete, I will definitely create an updated video. So consider this kind of V1 of the deck. And that being said, I hope you have a good night, and yeah, take care.